So you ask them, what are values? And then those who know them, they know them intellectually. So they say, my core values are honesty. They write them down. So when you ask them, what are your values? They will consciously regurgitate their values to you. Honesty, adventure, wealth, hard work, integrity. You know when you meet people, what do? They put their best foot because they are doing that how? Consciously or unconsciously? Consciously. Consciously, my defender. I need to show you my best part. My best part. When you ask a lady, tell me the kind of man you want to marry. Now she deliver the conscious ones to you. Eh? The first thing on the list will be what? God fear. You guys came from the same village. And I didn't know you guys were related to me. Look around you and say, hello, cousin. You didn't say it. Look at you and say, hello, cousin. Fear of God. Number 2. What's number 2? No, now you guys aren't saying the truth. Say, see. When pastor is asking you, that's not what you say. Let's say what we say. Number 1, fear of God. Number 2, hardworking. Yeah. Number 3, No. What do we say? What do we say consciously so that they don't think we're bad people? Do we say money? No. Responsible. What else? Focus. What else? Caring. Caring, by the way, is a word that they use to hide generosity inside. And generosity with money. It's caring. Hey, the guy very caring. It's a lie. The guy get money. That's a joke, oh please. It's a joke. Caring. What else? Tolerance. Understanding. Then, pay attention. She goes, she visits him. First date. And they drive around in his Porsche BMW and then takes her to the E3 and then holds her hands in the moonlight, as he says goodnight and gives her a peck on the forehead and goes, mwah, bye-bye. Hey! Agnes, I'm on my way back, but hey, okay. Tori Day. You are online, live streaming. Are you enjoying this? Tori Day. She get, Agnes cannot wait. Finally, you met Johnson. Hey, I don't hear what. You don't crush this guy. Crush on this guy. So the guy notices you. Finally. Finally, he comes. Tell me. Then she goes like, she can't even talk. She's so overwhelmed. Oh, girl. And Agnes is like this. This guy, if you see him, he is so fine. Meanwhile, she said before in the prayer meeting that it was God-fearing. See, this is funny, but it's not the fun. I want you to see what's going on consciously and unconsciously. She talks about he's fine, he's tall, and if you see the car. Hey! Not like that baller that I was dating, that when we go to eat, he'll be waiting for me to bring some of the money to pay. He paid cash. He paid with his whatever. And they asked him, debit or credit? He said, no, it's a credit card. So it's not a debit or whatever account. It's a credit card. And I saw Barclays Bank. It's not a Nigerian bank. Hey! Okay, I am made. This is my year. She's talking in a place where she's accepted and she's not judged. So her real values and choices are being made manifest. Once we come in the front of people who we are not sure, we begin to put our best foot forward. Adventure, honesty, we begin to values. Our values determine what is important to us. And we have them at 2 levels, at the conscious level and at the... Do you understand now? where we have clash usually is when our values are clashing. You say your value is mutual respect. Then somebody talks to you and you're unhappy about it. Then you go and you lash at them in public and insult them. Then you go back home and you can't sleep. You know why you can't sleep? Because you just violated your values. When you go home and you can't sleep, it means what you said was your values, mutual respect, number one value. Maybe it was not your value, or it was at the bottom of your value hierarchy. Does that make sense? So you can go and you're not bothered because it's not your value. See, sometimes something, honesty was of essence to you, then now you can lie and you're not bothered because it's gone down in your hierarchy of values, or it's been eliminated. It's no longer. You're only saying it's your value consciously. Unconsciously, it is not. Because our values are acquired, they are learned, and they are picked up, and they evolve, and they change. Same thing, beliefs. Some of you, I give an example earlier, I used to believe that this 5,000 naira trouser skirt is too expensive. Anybody like that? And then now it has shifted. Somebody said they are living in their house, 3 million. For this Lagos, you don't chop belly food. It's a belief that you have at a certain level in your life. Levels will change. Beliefs will change. Okay? When you're living certain levels of thinking, I'm not saying that is right or wrong. Remember, nothing is right or wrong. Its question is whether it empowers what? This empowers you. So, what is important? How do you know your values? You know your values when you know Walter, help me now. What is, you know your values when you're looking for what is when you know what is what you're passionate about. What you're passionate about. What you're passionate about shows you your values, and what you also abhor or hate. When you see somebody around you and they're like, oh, pick that paper. Oh, why is that? This chair is not. You know, this person, one of the values is what? Neatness, order. Do you understand? They're hating something because they like the other. Okay? When you see somebody, they are more comfortable in certain environments with certain groups of friends. Is their values. Say, no, me, I walk around them, they drink, but I'm not like them. It's only a matter of time. Their values will rub off on you. I had a practical example with that, my life. Okay? Caught stealing at an age where I was never supposed to be in that position. But because I mixed with a certain kind of people. And I brought a lot of shame to my parents. Okay? And values. Your values are also determined by how you spend your resources. Two resources, your time and your money. You can't say your value is personal development. And then we ask you, how much have you spent in the last 2 years in the last year on personal development? You say, see, I don't have money. But the same you went to Davido concert. It means where you are spending your money, that's where your value is. You understand? Simple. Where you spend your time, where you spend your money is where your values are. Money and time. What you hate, what you're passionate about. Is that okay? Beliefs. Beliefs determine the boundary conditions of our thinking. Beliefs determine the boundaries. Beliefs, the boundaries. The boundaries. If you are within this boundary, it means you cannot. If you are in Lagos thinking like a Lagosian, you know, I was schooled in the north, and when Lagosians came, when I came to Lagos for the first time in 1993, someone said, whoops, I wasn't born there. When I came to Lagos in 1993, I noticed that Lagosians thought that Lagos was Nigeria. Like Lagos is the territory. And when those who were from Lagos came to our school then in Sokoto State, they were like, if you haven't come to Lagos, you have not gone anywhere. But see, Lagos is only a part of Nigeria. You need to know Lagos. You need to know Katsina. You need to know Port Harcourt. You need to know Benue. You need to know Jos. Now, you don't know these places necessarily by going there. How many of you knew a lot about the U.S. just by reading books like James Hadley Chase, Agatha Christie, and all the Mills and Boone? You know people like that, right? Even their accents don't change. Yeah, seriously, just by watching movies. I'm telling you. They know about stuff. They travel. Because they say reading transports the mind. Reading will even take you to generations of people that have lived long before your great-grandparents were born. Like you are sitting down with them and having intercourse. A discourse. Interaction. Rubbing minds. Beliefs. Your beliefs determine what is true for you. Your beliefs determine what is true and what is real for you. So you cannot operate outside of the premise of what is not real or what doesn't come to you as your truth. I am told about how the Asians used to raise elephants. And they said they put the elephant, a baby elephant born in a compound. They want to condition this elephant and they want to program it so that it is good for either the circus or all those baby animals. And animal rights people are always fighting against the people who condition those things because you're making the thing to behave outside of its natural way of behaving. But see, when the elephant is raised in a place where for a long time that place was not natural, but the unnatural becomes its natural, where the abnormal becomes the normal. Who knows what I'm talking about? My mother received a lot of beating from my dad for years. That when we grew up with my brother and we asked her to leave so that we could build her a house, my mom that was always telling us, I'm here just so that una go school, just so that you guys will go to school. Say, Mama, but we have graduated. She said, just leave me. Because she wanted to keep taking the insult, the pain, the bashing, verbally, emotionally, and all of that. As I'm talking to you, my mom is dealing with a severe form of mental challenge. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Those of you who go through a lot of pain, abuse, and you stayed there, well done. Well done, sir. Do you understand? So I want to stay there. Now when you sit down with her, she has dementia. Just recalling all. She would not recall anything in the past that is beautiful. It's painful, painful, painful. People are like, this thing. Hours to sit down talking to you about painful past. Like, those of you who say all these mental challenges that we have are not real, it's real. Because if it minds in Christ, a new creation, all things. I like churches who are beginning to talk about. I went to, what's the name of this church now? Around Oworonshoki. Fantastic man of God with his church. Huh? Global Impact. And I saw them doing some seminars on mental health. I was so impressed. I'm not saying others don't do it. I'm just talking about the one I went to. I'm not a member there. And I wasn't surprised when the guy called us to come and train 14 of their pastors in neuro-linguistics programming. I wasn't shocked. Because he had heard from some of his pastor friends from the church you mentioned, Daystar. A couple of their pastors have done this training and brought so many of their members as well. Because people need to understand the root of where they're coming. It's not demon. Demon is taking advantage of your ignorance. He knows your history more than you know. He has no power. He just set up. You see, every man is tempted when they are drawn away by their own Lord, you have a history. He knows this. You don't know. You don't know. You're not interested in knowing. So, no power. He just sets up the trap. You don't like your shirt to be torn. You like to tear people's shirt. Come. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Has no power whatsoever. Just operating at the background like he's playing a game of chess. And you are a pawn. Come and get awareness of how you're thinking, what happened in your background, how your background is setting you up for massive failure when it can set you up for massive success. Then in Christ, anything is passed away. Now things have become new. No, it's talking about your record. It's wiped out. It's your record. His mercy has wiped out your record. Everything has become new. But you have a residue of Igbibch. You know what I'm talking about? You have a residue. Latecomers don't know what we're talking about. You have a residue of Igbibch in you. Fumi, common Igbibch, you can't say. And you went to school. You know how sometimes you are used to your dysfunction and your dysfunction becomes a functional. And you are accusing others of having problem. When you are the problem, Igbibch is right. She doesn't know how to say Igbibch. Am I talking to somebody? Come on, look at your neighbor and say, I need to go and repent. You know what repent is? Make a U-turn. And change that old way of thinking. First, for change your way of thinking. Values, beliefs. So they raised the elephant, and the elephant is put in a compound with a short fence that is not strong. But the baby elephant is weak and feeble and not strong. It goes to the fence to try to go out and eat the grass. At the other hand, the short pickle fence hold it back. It tries to go. Baby elephant is held back. This fence held the baby. After a while of trying, baby elephant gives up. Says there is a big, strong fence around so and so premises. Is the baby elephant correct? It's correct. The problem is baby elephant grows up to be 4, 5, 10, 12 years old, but still has the thinking, mindset, mentality of a baby elephant. And it says, sitting here, it will uproot this tree within the premises. Bow! Break it into pieces and eat it. It will dig this hole. You go to the fence and say, this fence is too big. Is it correct? It is correct for itself. That's what we're learning here. Did you get what I said? It is correct. Nothing is correct or wrong. Distortion, meaning. So we have 40-year-old men with 12-year-olds meanings and definitions. My dad is wicked when I was 2, 3, 4. I'm 40 years old, so I'm still saying he's wicked. It means I will not be able to walk into the reality of certain things because I still have an old definition about my dad, about money, about women, about Ijebu people, about career, about getting powerfully building a powerful global company, about getting, some of you go to every wealth course. You don't make nothing because your baby elephant beliefs are holding you back. So you have baby elephant. It can scatter its dada here. Break everything. Go to the fence. No, I can't. This is an old belief. Have you ever seen an adult? An adult. He specializes in raping underage girls, sometimes and boys. Because there's a dysfunction in this person's growing up, and they had a belief and a need that was not met at a young age where they would grow bodily. But emotionally at that level, they are still a baby elephant. The fence is too big. They'll grow everything. They'll grow spiritually. They can prophesy. My father owns the cattle upon 1,000 hills. Abundance is mine. Wealth comes to me from the north, south, east, and west. There's gold dust in the air, and I'm plugged into it. But the reality of money in their life, no, because they have baby elephant beliefs that is still real today. Because everything you're confessing is conscious, 5%. So every once in a while, it allows a trickle of better to come. The oil just rubs your mouth. Before you want to run, it goes out. But I tested this thing. Yeah, you got the 1 million naira job, but you were made for billions. And God didn't create you a mistake. God is such an organizer that he wouldn't have not known that there will be billions of people and made adequate preparations for them in advance. Your lack is not catching him by mistake. He set everything in operation and set rules and laws in operation. Your knowledge and operation of them makes your reality possible, whichever way you want it to go. Whichever way you choose, you choose. In fact, one great one said, and I adore him, he said that the poor you will always have with. There's nothing you can do. Once they have that belief, God can't change it. God doesn't believe for people. God doesn't have values for people. It's not God that will hold your values for you. It's not God that will have your beliefs for you. It's not God that will have your language for you. All of those filters, God wouldn't have them for you. You have to have them for yourself. This is making some sense. When you have a child, you've given birth to a child, you do not walk on behalf of the child. You do not brush on behalf of the child. You can do that for a certain level. A level comes when the child has got to be independent and walk by him or herself. Make sense? You are there. 20 years later. Prayer is the key. Prayer is the key. Prayer is the master key. Jesus started with prayer. And it's right now, somebody's getting angry. Why are you saying that? What's making you annoyed is belief. And you are right for yourself. If that empowers you, fine. But if that hasn't empowered you yet, come you hither. and be ye wise. Come and be baptized with sense. For your transference from Egypt to Canaan. Beliefs and what? Values. What's the third one? Attitudes. Attitudes are bits and pieces of beliefs and values. An attitude is not something you can really pinpoint and say this is it. An attitude, you see a little bit of belief, a little bit of values there. You see people have different attitudes to money. It's not a belief, it's not a value, but it's an attitude. In the north, when we grew up, there's an attitude around money. They say, Kudi de machiji, akashi. Literally means wherever you see money and snakes, kill them. So we grew up with those attitudes. Money and snake, fire. This world is not our home, we're just passing by. Money and snakes, fire. Kill them. Finish. This is the poor man's attitude. Did you get that? It's not right or wrong. Question is, does it empower you? There's an attitude around work. Somebody sees work as, finally, we'll be able to eat food. Somebody said, no, I just got a place where I can go display my gifts. Where I can go express my being a supernatural being. Where I can go solve a problem. Where I can find joy of self-expression of the God nature in me. Problem solving. Somebody say, no, salary. Both are not wrong or right. Question, does it empower you? Does this make sense? Yeah, attitude. You have attitudes around marriage. It's a place to have children. See, I just married you because I was okay. I just married you because I wasn't born. Maybe doing me shaggy for here. Do you understand? It's not a belief nor a value. It's an attitude. It's an attitude where this man sees a woman as a place to go and release tension. Mama Nkechi, enter bedroom. It's an attitude. So it's silent. Nobody ever sat you and gave you a call to have the attitude. Over time, it's something you picked from 3 sources. All of these filters, you pick them from 3 sources. Environment, upbringing, and what we call significant emotional experiences. We will teach you this in greater detail in our NLP training, NLP level 1. You think you are knowing this, we're just sprinkling your mouth with oil. And take it away. Say, Kai, this is deep. Don't say any deep. Where's any deep? Understand what's going on in your life and invest in your life. That's what I did. That's why a lot of the people that you see come here to share did. They invested in their lives. One of the things I love about NLP is it's not one 30,000 naira course. Some of you have heard already. It's not. One lady was asked saying, that is expensive. She's in Turkey. She buzzed me. What's the name of that your course again? I want to do it when next I come to Nigeria. Hey, you don't want this to do. I was so happy she's in Turkey. I said, can you go and Google it, please? How much? She Googled it. 5,600 and something pounds for NLP results certification training, what we call results certification level 1. And then we have level 2. And we have level 3. Then we have 4. Then we have 5. We have different levels that are doing different things for people. I said, what? She called me. She said, I beg, I'm coming to Nigeria in February. I beg. She's going to pay her fare from Turkey to come to Lagos to do the training that we were doing in Jos and begging people with coins to do because we were starting out. Till today, it's just 400,000. 400! How many bag of rice with that? You know the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Those who are at the bottom are what? Survival. What are they looking for? Food. Once you get 400,000, you don't chop belly food. They are the lowest level of existence. And those are the people who can make noise and confess, I declare. Affirmation. Because that one is cheap. It's talk. They will not even buy the affirmation book. They will photocopy it. Survival. You know, I'm excited because our NLP trainings are for leaders. People who say, I am a leader of thought. I want to be a leader in my industry. I am a leader in my family. I am a leader in a religious organization. I am a leader. A leader is not a title. A leader, I just want to have influence. I want to define things around me. I want to be a problem solver. I want to be outstanding. I want to sell like mad. I don't want small chicken. You know chickens? Chuk. Chickens. They're always pecking around them. Many people don't know that chickens can fly. Until Salah Eve, Christmas Eve. They'll fly over the bed. So it's a big fly. It was waiting for pressure. Many people, and we call that meta program. You will not hustle until you are broke. Until things are tough. Once there's $1 million in your account, you would never have come to this event. I know you. I'm serious. Once things are okay, that person training. Which training? I need to go to Badagry, y'all. And I need to go be at some Davido meeting, yo. Okay. Because small change day. Once it's broke, Lord, I surrender, Lord. They become humble. They begin to go for seminar. They look for the free ones. Free. 400,000. I don't chop. No, it's not for everybody. There may be somebody who is there who doesn't have, but they are planning and skimming their way to the top. Understood? Different. But they're looking for chicken. Chuk. Do you know, I don't know why we didn't have sense. As kids, we used to pursue chickens. We pursue them to catch them. If you want to catch chickens, it's easy. Just put that maize, that thing they're eating, just put it in a line to a room. Because they are specialists in being unable to raise their head and look at the future. Look at what is ahead. Because they are engrossed with petty things. Food, shelter, clothing. Chuk. Chuk. Chicken mentality. Chuk. And then now, what's gonna now? What's gonna go? I never chop. Chuk. Small things. Chuk. That's their immediate need. They don't have leadership potential because leadership is thinking beyond my empty tummy now. You know what investment is? Investment means that you deprive yourself of the immediate gain and gratification today and take this thing that you could have consumed and been comfortable today and put it away so that it will grow by compounding. It's not this blockchain you are doing. No, that one is not investment. It's an opportunity that you can capitalize on. Real investors are those who have the thinking of the whatever. Blockchain is fantastic. It's good. My wife is doing it. We're making some money, guys. I like it too. But you do it with caution. Do you understand what I'm talking about? You do it with caution. And then you put some money in different baskets. Real estate, business, this one, some shares. Say shares. No, you are poor. Because rich people are making more money from those stocks now. You don't know what they are. Because you don't even have financial intelligence. You read one book or Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's all. With richest man in Babylon. That's all. Then you are financially free. Really? Or once you get the alert show up in your business once in a month, you say you call it passive income. No, that's not passive income. It's when you do it such a way that your team, whether they work or not, you don't work for long. Then you're free. Free to spend time with your children and the people that you love. Beliefs, values. If I talk about attitudes, what's the next one? I gave an example of memories. It's a filter. That determines all these are filters that determine our reality. What is filter? Assay. Assay. Or use another word is glass. This one. In this hall, I give them these glasses and the glasses are yellow and I give them this paper. What would they say? This is what color of paper? They will say it's what color of paper? Yellow. Why? Because they're wearing Yellow glasses. Their filters are like glasses that you wear to see what is in your reality, what is in your possibility, and then you say it's this, it's abundance, it's lack, and the values are predicting that. Okay? People here we have green glasses. Everybody has green glasses. I give them, I say, what color is this? Green. Are they correct? For themselves. Ah, you guys are excellent students. Excellent. Do you get this? The people here, oh, we're red. I said to them, what color of book is this? Red. Are they correct? For who? The problem sometimes is conflict arises when we're trying to force our neighbor to accept our color. Forced to accept. So these things are glasses or sieves. Sieve. I said that thing that you use to prepare the semo, or we call it tuo in the north. Semo is not tuo. Tuo. Who knows tuo? Correct people. Tuo. Maize. You do it. The acerization determines the quality of tuo that you get. Am I correct? If the acer has big holes inside, what will the tuo look like? Lumps, right? Absolutely. Some of you, your acer, your beliefs, your values, that has holes in them. So your experience is hop, step, and jump. One day you have a good life, then you stay for 16 years of drought. In your relationships, drought. In excellent communication, drought. In knowing how to maneuver and navigate life's difficulties. Hop, step, and jump. One day it's good, then 16 years of suffering and groping around in the dark. One of the major experiences of most people in Nigeria, especially religious people, Christians. One of my favorite scriptures is, hope deferred makes the heart sick. It's in Proverbs. Every year you have hope. Hope. This is my year. My year of whatever. My year. We've become so materialistic, it has to be a year of something touchy. Something you can touch. You never say, this is my year of invention. You will never hear it. You will not invent nothing. It's when you say, yeah, you indict yourself. And even when you say it's your year of breakthrough, what is the measure, December 31st, that you say, this is the measure by which I'll determine if my year of breakthrough was a success? Because that way you begin to catch all the prophetic declarers. I'm about to make a prophetic declaration right now. This is coming. It's coming. It's just coming to me now. Coming, and then you just raise up your hand. Test it. The Bible says, test all spirits. When the year has come to an end, check. Did this come to pass? It didn't come to pass in 2014. You moved on. It's my emoji. See, there are people who are doing the real thing and they are fantastic, but they are also wolves in sheep's clothing. But you never measure. You never check. Never. You just move on. It's my year. They're telling me to move on. What's the third one? Memories. See, memories are multidimensional. Memories are what? Write it down. Every event and every occurrence that you have had in your life was multidimensional. But you had only one dimension of the memory. What was my memory of my father? Good or bad? Now, my father was not good or bad. My father was good, bad, sweet, orange, this, that. But I saw him from only one paragram. For some people, it's either right or wrong. Good or bad. No shades of gray. Good or bad. Every memory has got different sides to it. I have a lady in Lagos who is one of the most profound teachers or counselors in this city. I don't want to call her name. She came to our training, a pastor's wife. And she was saying, you're telling us about meaning and distortion, and there's something empowering in an experience. I don't understand what is empowering in this experience. I was raped by my mother's brother, blah, 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 blah. See, because of that, I won't even tell you who the person is. The class disrupted my class and was talking, standing. I don't understand. How can you say that was empowering? So I kept her standing and I used one of the NLP tools on her. Asked a couple of questions because questions are the answers. Touch your neighbor and say, did you hear that? I said, touch your neighbor and say, did you hear that? You guys didn't see what I saw from here. Some guy, when I said touch, he said, finally, we're in the class. He's been eyeing this babe since. I said, he now thought, did you hear that? Did you hear that? I said, did you? I said, say it once. He said it like 4 times. Memories. I said memories are multi-what? Dimensional. How many dimensions has this bag got? Huh? Okay. Now all of you are not absolutely correct. Now you are correct for you, but you're not correct for me. This bag would possibly have 66 to 1,000 dimensions. Now, this is one side, right? Did you calculate this side? Now look at me. The bag is going to move, but it's going to move only slightly. Has the dimension of the bag changed from where you are seated? That's another dimension. But did you count that? Are you realizing that now? Am I lying? You just didn't know, right? Now it has changed again. Another dimension? Has it changed totally? Change again. So there's a small change dimension to everything. But you just said it had 2, 3, 4 only. Every experience had that rape. The meaning of that rape was not just that meaning that you have continued to hold on to, that is painful and hurting and traumatizing, until you begin to shed light on that experience and look at it again, where your anger was birthed from that experience. It was the meaning that you ascribed to that event. What if you look at that event again? I looked at my father and used it as an example. Look at my father, and I noticed if not for my father forcing me to read that book that I hated, I would never have loved reading, and I wouldn't have read all this book that drifted me towards personal development, and then now I'm ended up in NLP. Gift from who? My father, the same person that I hated. I would never have seen him in that light. My father would speak English that we had never heard, and my brother and I would go like, soldier English. One day my father was cooking and he said, you see, when you were going to, and then the thing boils, I'm going to go out, the heat will accumulate. We had never heard the word accumulate. He left, and you can't laugh. He left me and my brother. Accumulate! Soldier. Where did he get that from? We had never heard it. You know those primary 7 levers of the 60s? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Used to call it primary 7. Okay? Better than a lot of graduates today. Not most, a lot of graduates today. And he would say that. Then we went to church one day, and one of the staff sergeants, we were in a Catholic church, and he was reading the people who had paid some dues or something. He said, those of you who not pay the dues, your dues will accumulate. I looked for my brother in the congregation. As our website, we were right and they were wrong. Were we correct? For ourselves. We needed to expand our reference. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. But that began to set the foundation for, by the time I got to secondary school, even though I had challenges with figures, no matter where you went, there were whites in my school, I always came tops in English language. Always did. Always went for those debates. Always went for those quizzes. Always went to the secondary schools in all of the local government we were in. I would go represent in Sokoto State from my local government as the top person. My father was poor, broke, and not educated. But he gave me that gift. But I never saw it. Why? Because I had a meaning that prevented me from seeing the other dimension. So look at someone and say, see the other dimensions. Something is about to shift for somebody. Shift and turn. Because you're going to, a lady came to this class, the real NLP 7 days. She came, I think it was in Jos. She came from Lagos to Jos because we're doing this only in Lagos. And then she came and she said, my stepmother was a gift. I didn't know. If not for her, I wouldn't know this. But thank God. She sent her stepmother. She wasn't talking to her. They were enemies. She said, Mama, thank you. Please, I want to ask you to forgive me. Thank you. Thank you. My friend was raised by his stepmother in Jos. Cold Jos of those days used to kill people if they stood for too long. His mother died. His father, a pastor, had a stepmother. 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, she wake him. Go and bath my children, blah, blah, blah. He grew up like that. when I lived with him in Abuja, this guy was just a homemaker. This is the kind of guy as a woman you want to marry. Not like me, Jagbajantis, disorganized. He would everywhere neat. He there's sand on this floor. Cook, perfect. I know some of you women don't like men who cook like that. Some of them cook, they don't care, they won't even criticize you. They just go, honey, have you eaten? What should I cook for you? Guy, he'll cook for you. Come. This guy, I moved from Lagos, from Abuja to Jos, and he called one day that he was going to Bauchi, and he needed a category of staff to work for him, and he needed a couple of people. Hey, what are you going to do in Jos? He said, oh, I didn't tell you I've been working on myself, and I started a company. Like, what company? He got a big government job where he was covering a big occasion, and he was going to earn a lot of money, millions. That was when it dawned on me, and I hadn't started what I was doing now. Meaning, distortion. He had a catering outfit. That's the only thing Solo is still doing till now. The gift from his stepmother that was wicked. Some of you need to go back and reevaluate. Your husband, as tough as it is, has been a gift to you. Because of him, you became organized. I had a lady come to me and say, my husband said, I don't write list, I'm not orderly, I'm not because of him, I have to do this. It's a gift. It's a gift. That thing that's supposed to be a thorn in your flesh, that boss was a gift. Somebody is here. A guy came and showed you love in your relationship, and he was perfect. The thing is that he dumped you and left, and you've been angry since then. He was a gift. He came to show you how a real relationship should be, and you are angry with him. The former company you worked with didn't pay your salary for long. You have cursed them and told all your friends how wicked they are, but they taught you how to be austere and how to manage and how to plan yourself. Till today, you have financial intelligence. You are even a millionaire already. They were a gift to you. Go and reevaluate that experience. Meaning. Everything is meaning. Meanings can change if you want them to change. Meanings can become empowering because you choose for them to. My father became a precious pearl to me. I started to look at my father through different eyes. What? This guy was a gift and I didn't know. Were it not for my father, I would have been playing Ludo, analyzing football. I'm not saying people who do that are useless, but I'm saying he just gave me a sense of direction. My father, my number one reason for wanting to be success was negative, but it was to prove my father wrong. Somebody say, what's negative in that? Yes, because we have two kinds of motivation. Towards motivation and away from motivation. Away from motivation is a good place to start when you are starting out. But many times, it doesn't take you far. I wanted to prove my father wrong. It was a gift. It was a gift. My father saying to me, you will never amount to anything. Today, see, it's my choice. It's my meaning. I'm not saying you should adopt it. I said it was a gift. Choose ye this day what your meanings will be. As for me, I know what I've chosen. Everything that's happened in my life, I turned it around. I saw another dimension to it. All things work together for good if you want them to. And as I share this, some of you are turning things in your head. Your mind is going to some experiences, going near and far, south and west, north and east. You're looking at all kinds of things. They are gifts. If you're watching through live streaming, you need to decide today. Every single thing that's happened in your life. Change the meaning. Look at it again. Reevaluate. Decide. What did this mean? Because there was a meaning that it meant then. They can mean now. We're meaning-making machines. Just form another meaning. At first, when I said my father was a blessing, it didn't sound good and cool to me. I didn't like the feeling of that. Because I had a long... Can I tell you one of my life's dreams? When my father is old and dying, I'm dragging him behind a car around town. As a child, that was my dream. Put him through pain. Let him be saying, Ranka, I did it. Sorry, I made a mistake. Ranka, I did it. Sorry, I made a mistake. That was my dream. This guy loved me. He didn't know how to express it. He didn't have the capacity to understand what real love meant because he was raised by two brothers who were harsh to him. He never had the resources that I had. People are doing the best they can with what they know and with the resources at their disposal. It's one of the presuppositions of NLP. Write it down. People are doing the best they can with what they know and with the resources at their disposal. People are doing the best they can with what they know and with the. This is not easy when you think of all the people who have hurt you, hurt you, because hurt you is the meaning at some point. Check the meaning again. Reassess your meanings. Reestablish your meanings. What did it mean then? What does it mean now? What did it mean then? What does it mean now? And tomorrow, check the meaning again. Because we're not static. Life is dynamic. In the same way, I'll listen to T.D. Jakes years ago and he will say, what I'm saying right now, some of you don't understand, but buy the tape. What I'm saying doesn't mean so much right now. You have an opportunity to go view the live streaming from now. Life may turn you around and bring you to the place where this would make sense to you. Trust me. Trust me. What does this mean? Nothing means anything except the meaning. People use this for jokes. No, I'm not. Use it to empower yourself. Memories. What's the next one? Decisions. I already gave you that example. Decisions. A child seeing somebody with head. You see that? Me growing up in my mother's bed parlor, and a woman, girls were working for her from my place, and they were selling alcohol in Kaduna, where I was born. They're selling alcohol, and I'll see men come there with other people's daughters, and some of those girls that were selling for my mom, they'll come. As a child, just know there's something not right around there. I just grew up and said, my people, women from my place, I don't like them. I will not marry there. It's a decision you took years ago. I forgot. Later, when I was about to get married, I introduced my wife to my auntie. She's like, why do you want to marry a woman from another place? I said, but I have not met women from other place. See, I had deleted. It was not possible for me to meet a woman from Benue State. It wasn't possible. Even when I met one in school years earlier, people were telling me she was from my place, and I said it's not possible because she was decent, she was good, she was articulate. I said, no, it's not possible. See, I've deleted. You've deleted. It's not possible for it to be. But once you say it's not possible for me to make money from shares, you are correct. You will never see an opportunity to make money from there. It's your choice. You have drawn the boundaries. Baby elephant, your wish is my command. Do you understand this? So what happened? Memories. I have the memory of those ladies. And I say, I won't. It was years later, I went to church in Abuja and I met another guy, doctor with his wife from my place. People like this exist. I met another, started meeting, like, they're there. But you see, what you focus on multiplies. Did you hear what I said? What you focus on, what happens to it? Energy flows in the direction of focus. What you focus multiply, increases, abounds. What you're paying attention to, you will see more of it. Nike mentioned it earlier. You buy a car. Suddenly you start seeing the car everywhere you go. Has it happened to anybody? Yeah. You buy a cloth that you're planning a wedding. Suddenly you start seeing the clothes everywhere. It was a common cloth and this man sold it expensive to us. Was he cheated or? No, he didn't cheat. No. Because you are interested in it now, you are seeing it everywhere. Because now you're looking for it consciously. I mean, you're looking for it. Do you get that? Yeah. You're looking for it. What you pay attention to, you see more of it. That's why we say your focus is determining your outcome. But what you're paying attention is not just what you're paying attention to consciously, it's also what you're paying attention to unconsciously. We're giving elements of what's going on consciously and unconsciously. Memories. So, tied to your decisions are memories. Remember files. There's a movie that we recommend for people to watch at our NLP level 1. When you come in, I'll give you that movie. Very powerful movie. It talks about emotions and memories. Each of your emotion is tied to a memory. You see it. Very powerful. Very powerful. Memories. What's the next one? Language. So, eventually I didn't marry a woman from my place. Because as a child, I don't want. A lady came to this class. Same thing. Same thing. Listen to this. Listen to this. She was also growing up in Kaduna. Her mother had a pepper soup food joint, restaurant. The people who were patronizing it were rich people from a particular Nigerian company. NNPC stuff kind of thing. And she said she used to see all these married men come with other women. She know they knew all their wives, but they were coming. And then she said, in the class, she said, I realized now that at that time I said, I don't want to marry a rich man. Yes. Does she have, people make those decisions and they have good intentions. Does she have a good intention? Because again, when you make that decision at that time, the decision serves you at that time. The memory serves you at that time. The belief serves you at that time. As a 9-year-old, as an 8-year-old, the belief is correct for you at that time. But later, it no longer empowers you. But at this time, it's empowering to you at that time. But when you shift, your life begins to change and you begin to shift. You're supposed to change the belief as well. But we still remain with the old belief. We still remain with the old emotion, the old problem. You see a 40-year-old man misbehave in traffic, you're like, what's happening? Because this man has grown up physically, but in that area of their emotion, they're still a baby. Does that make sense? So she said, when the guy who married her would have an opportunity to have a breakthrough financially. She was a Christian born-again woman. I'm about to tell you one of the most shocking things you have ever heard. Every time she senses money is about to come, she'll go on her knees. She'll say, Father, block it. Block it. Block it. She's panicking. Because if he gets money, he'll be like those men she saw as a child. Father, block it. I want to ask a question. Does she have a good intention? But that was an intention that served her when she was a baby. In her reality today, is that going to serve her? So at that level, she's going to be operating as, if her name is Elizabeth, she'll be operating as 8-year Elizabeth, but she's 38, for example. Do you understand? Many of us are like that. Different areas of our life. So many things happening in your life. It's affecting your money relationship, how you get money, how you don't get what's happening, your happiness, your joy, your career, your business. You don't have a clue. Come to NLP level 1. Invest in yourself. Use these tools. Empower yourself. Invest in yourself. Make things happen for you. Change the course of your life. So she said, Father, may he be frustrated. I declare that money will not come. Just give us the small that will survive. Lord, she said this with tears in her eyes. You want to see confessions and openness? Come to our NLP classes. You hear stories. Because people say, finally I've seen what has been stopping me. And you say it was the devil. Do you see what I'm talking about? Yeah? Two cannot work together except they be. Yeah. Were they working in agreement? Did she know it? That's the toughest part of it. She didn't even know it. Because when you are unconsciously, she said, I want to be successful. Then the class revealed to her, you made a decision years ago. You need to go back and resolve it. Decision, language. Language. I told you that language transports the mind. Language. There's a language for everything. There's a language for every profession. There's a language for success in every area. Language for success with money. When you want to understand something, so it's called financial intelligence. It's not necessarily the one they teach in school. School doesn't even teach it. You see, I have a good example. I grew up in the north. In the north, two kinds of people are extremely rich. The people from a part of Kano and the people from a part of Maiduguri. The Meideribes and co. They are extremely, extremely wealthy. Now, when you check their history, most of them, the history is tied to generations of trans-Saharan trade that father taught son, who taught his children, who taught his grandchildren, who taught his, and it was passed along. Nothing happened accidentally or by prayer. Because there are many people in Kano and in Katsina and everywhere praying to the same God. God leaves principles to operate. And he says, go and work it out. Go tie your camel. Take your responsibility. He will bless the one that is operating the principle. In fact, he doesn't have to bless. The principle will make you to multiply. Because it's operating automatically. But principles want to work in your life, but you are constituting a hindrance by your jagbajantis, beliefs, values, decisions, memories that are sabotaging your desires to move your life and your career and your business forward. Do you understand what I'm talking about? You didn't come here by accident. Something is telling you, carry your things and go home. Transport will be tough. Stay here. Oh. Stay here. Yeah. Told you. Hey, no, don't look at that watch. What happened? Kano people, over time, they will go bring horses and donkeys. In exchange, then it was trade by barter. They'll take granuts and all those things to the other side. Same way. They'll come to the south, bring granite, they'll take kola nuts from the southeast and all of those places to the north. It's amazing. There's not one kola nut tree in the north. Everything is in the south. Are you listening to me? Beliefs, values, decisions, memories. The language of the wealthy people is different from the language of the poor people. When you grew up, Dangote grew up in his maternal grandfather's home. It's called the Ntata family. They were also multi-millionaires. In fact, billionaires. Dangote only modernized what he learned. And because of his exposure, see, when you travel, school, you expand your terms of what? Reference. So that it's not just blue and white again. There will be sky blue, turquoise. You understand what I'm talking about? You expand your possibilities when you learn, when you expand, when you are curious, when you are adaptable, when you are flexible. One of the presuppositions of NLP says, people who are flexible, they control the system. If I were you, I would have written that down. Yeah, hey, me. I don't stay in the meeting till evening. Okay, go. It's for leaders, not for you. So he grew up in Ntata's family, and he would see. There's a language that poor people speak. Poor people, I can't afford it. It's not enough. Now this thing I go chop. I don't get transport. This one is not for us. Yeah, now so we go day. When you see the gathering of Tony Elumelu and Co, that's not how they were talking. Now so we go day. But we even joke about it. But the more we joke about it, the more we're enforcing our limiting paradigms. Then we sit down to watch TV. God help you, they are doing news. Then they now say, it's now time for financial news with Richard Quest. Hey, Ngozi, bring the. Look at your neighbor, say, cousin, are you still there? I told you we're cousins, right? Hi, cuz. In the school of, I don't know, in that school before. Don't say I've been delivered. No, a part of you may have been delivered, but you're still there. So it says, bring the remote. Every time you say bring the remote, it's what you're saying consciously, but let me show you what you're saying unconsciously. All this language of NASDAQ, Dow Jones, FTSE, Kinikon, is not for me. Now, you are saying that at the unconscious level. In the morning, you stand up, you go to the altar to make declarations of riches and wealth. In the evening, they are doing financial and you say, it's not for me. Unconsciously, you're 95% saying not for me. Your conscious is going to, but you have planted weeds in your garden. Weeds in your garden. It's not for me. Bring the remote. What do we change it to? Depending on who has power. Sometimes, the people who have power is the children, but they want to watch what? Some of us parents, it's our duty to set the sails for our kids. I noticed that my son, if he's watching cartoon and they begin to talk about money, his antennas go up. Because early enough, he said he wanted to be a firefighter. Then I say, Mbok. Why, Joko? Firefighter, there are firefighters and there are firefighters. I told him there are different type of firefighters. The one that you're watching this cartoon that are carrying, hey, chebe, hey, that are jumping up and down, is one type of firefighters. You see that truck that they are carrying about? There's somebody who invented them. He's also a firefighter. He said, hey, Daddy, right? I said, yes. See, expand your reference. Don't be following this book where they teach us. It's a lie. A lot of it. I said, there are some firefighters they invent. I said, there are some firefighters, their duty is to distribute and market the products of the inventors of the firefighting equipment. They are called entrepreneurs. He said, really? I said, yes. I said, there's another type of firefighter. I gave him category upon category. I said, so which firefighter do you want to be? And they say, hey, carry hose. What's that? What's that? What's that? So, at one time, he didn't know what, he had so many things he wanted to do. He wanted to be a firefighter. He wanted to be an entrepreneur. He wanted to be blah, 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 blah. And then when he meet people, people ask him, what do you want to be? You won't hear my son say, doctor. He'll give you a list. Because many of us are so multi-talented and we don't even know that we have capacities to do much more. But you have identified yourself as one person and one thing only. Because they told us, carve a niche for yourself. Carve a niche. Carve niche. Because I think that part time, you may have different niches. One time Bill Gates was doing this and then he moved to this. One time Warren Buffett was investing in Coca-Cola and then he moved to this. And then Bill Gates introduced him to investing in .com companies. He was very uncomfortable and people are always shitty. See, I told you, only flexible people, they inherit the system. They determine things. Does that make sense? Yeah. Language. Is there anybody here? Williams. Is there Mrs. Williams or Miss Williams? Yeah, Mrs. Williams, please come. Where are you from? Come. You're from Jos? Shoo? Kedega Jos ne? Haba. Bani hanu anang. Correct. So no. Baki da sunan rin red ko. Lokrit. Yawa. What is your tribe?
Angas.
Ngas. There's a tribe. Some of you have never heard. There's a tribe called Ngas. You need to move away from that Kwatarkwashi where you were born. Some of you have lived. I came to Lagos a few years ago, 2-3 years ago. I met a guy here who was my assistant for a while. Tunde. I was taking him to Ikeja. Tunde said, sir, this is the first time in my life I'm going to Ikeja. Tunde is 20-something. Yes. First time ever. I said, well, he said, I have lived in Eko. Lagos Island. Only. I crossed Third Mainland Bridge to go to school in Abeokuta. Straight, I come back home. I'm a champion of Eko. 20-something years old. Look at somebody around you, say, travel, my brother. Travel, my sister. Travel. Travel is not going to Obodo Ibo. It's just moved a little bit outside. Lockrit. What is pink? The color pink. Ngas, your tribe. Eh?
I don't know.
Wait. Nentawe, you are Ngas too. Hey! Today is Ngas. All of you watching you from Plateau, Jos, and to Navoyel. Make these people not shame me. What is pink? Ngas.
I have no idea.
Chai. And you know, this reminds me, except you've been to my training, I don't want you to answer this question. If you've been to any of my events, I don't want you to answer this question. Before Southern Sudan, which is like the latest country right now, there was a new country before then. There was one latest country before then. Southern Sudan is like the newest country in our geography. There was one, Scalies. Anybody know Scalies? Scalies. No, it's not Seychelles. Scalies. Nobody? Oh my goodness. You know, this is the kind of thing that makes me feel good. I came from Jos. You know, when Lagos people feel like they're all that, and then you call one small something, they don't have answers. Calais, Lagos people. Where is Calais? Anybody? I said this in one event. One guy raised up his hand. Listen, gentlemen, there's no place called Calais. Don't embarrass yourself. Olamide is like, yes, I knew it. She was tempted to raise up her hand. I know. What if I say to Lockrit, let's meet at this Calesian embassy on Monday? How many of you know that meeting will never happen? Will it happen? Why? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. By virtue of the same thing, if pink was a word, because see, every experience that you are having today, listen to me. I want to say, listen to me, child of God. Every experience that you are having, because I'm going to one church in Kaduna soon, I'm practicing. Every experience that you are having is expressed. Please listen. Listen, sir. It's expressed with the use of language. There is no language, there is no experience. When there is language, there is experience. And once there's experience, there is reality. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I say billionaire, you understand it, right?